And we are live. Welcome back to the Pistons Jack subscriber only live stream. This is stream number 5, number 4 for the off season so far, and we've got some plenty of exciting topics to go through today. A lot of hypotheticals at this time of the year. We're going to lead off with the Kevin Durant discussion. And I dropped the video last night with my thoughts, but I've got my man Prince and Zave joining me, who I'll bring up in just a moment. I'm keen to get their thoughts, but we'll go through that. I am going to throw a Lauri Markkanen fake trade while we're talking about potential trades, and then we're going to do a little bit of stuff on the draft. I had Hoop Intellect on this week, talking about some names in the second round to look at. So we'll go through a little bit of that. As well as some other news around the team. But yeah, I did do a video on Tom. Shout out to Tom. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you as well, Matt. I hope you're doing well, man. Matt, is that Gillies in your photo? Is that on Woodward? But appreciate you guys being in the chat. But I did do a video on the Kevin Durant thing, but just my brief thoughts. I still don't think it's probably happening, but there's just been so much conversation with I guess the thing that made me want to make a video about it and talk about it on the stream today is just the amount of discussion that I've seen. Pure discussion. There's no real reporting about fake Kevin Durant trades and how there's been a lot of buy-in from major media outlets and reporters and podcasts that I listen to suggesting how good the fit KD could be in Detroit if the deal is right. Obviously, I'm keen. I've got some trades we'll go through here. I think. Oh, we've got Ron Holland Senior in the chat. What's going on? Hope you're doing well, man. Shout out. But we're gonna go through some fake Kevin Durant trades, but I don't want to give up any of the young core. I think a lot of the fan base doesn't want to, but I think there is a deal or two that could appeal to some of the fan base. So excited to go through those with the chat today and who we have on the show. But looks like we've just got Maddie and Devin joining. So we've got 4 people here. I don't even know if I can fit 5 up on the stage. So bear with me here. I'm going to bring up Prince and Zay first, and then maybe we'll do Maddie and Devin second, just so everyone gets a fair chance to share their thoughts. But I'm going to bring up those 2 now. Let's go. Prince, Zay, what's going on, fellas?
Nothing much. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I love that Aussie accent. Prince, I think you're on mute, my guy.
Oh, my bad. We're here now.
And I love it. How are we feeling, guys? Maybe let's just off the top. I know it's not Pistons related, but this NBA Finals has been pretty fun. We spoke a little bit about it last week, Prince. So maybe Zave, how have you been watching NBA Finals? What's your thoughts so far? Even any Pistons thoughts while watching the finals?
Pacers weren't the first to upset a team. That's all I'm saying. We did it back in 04.
I love it. And Prince, any thoughts so far?
OKC in 7.
OKC in 7.
Yep.
You know what's really strange? And I mean, in our group chat, I've been a Pacers hater. I'm not gonna lie. The Pacers are the one team this whole season that I had a genuine hatred for, just in a sporting sense. But I said it on last week's show. After them doing what they did just in game 1 against OKC, I just have to tip my cap to Tyrese and the Pacers, and it's just turned from hate to kind of just respect. I'll go back to hating them when the Pistons play them next season, but I think even in a way, I'm like I think it's natural to maybe go for the underdog, but weirdly now, I'm like hoping the Pacers win tonight. I just think it'd be cool to see how that unfolds. Who do you think gets the a winning game 4, Zay?
That's a tough one, if I'm being honest. Ooh. That's going to be at Indiana, right?
Yes. Yeah. Indiana home game.
Yeah. Yes, probably going to be the Pacers then, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince?
Me personally, I think SGA is gonna pull through, and I feel like Chet Holmgren with the rebounds. But I just don't think they'll have as much of a sloppy performance as they had in game 2. So I think OKC's gonna win probably 10 points or more.
I think they're 5-0 after losing a playoff game.
Mhm.
So they are definitely the odds-on favorite to win, but that's enough on the finals. Let's get to some KD trades. This is just pure fun. Shout out to Cade Collector. What's going on, man? We've got a Grizzlies fan in the chat. Grizz fan here, bro. Keep going. Love the content. Appreciate you, Edward. And yes, Tom, there will be one mock trade with Ron Holland in it, but I hate it. But I'm bringing it up. So we're not trading Ron, but there is one that has him in it, unfortunately. But just maybe before I bring these up and throw them to you, maybe each of your thoughts on the idea of Kevin Durant to the Pistons. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna let him go first.
Oh yeah, sorry. Look, I do love to see it, but the problem is that like the Suns situation they're in terms of the value that they have, it's dire, right? They got barely any first round picks. They got nothing to build a future. So obviously that means they're going to be asking for more, and I just don't want to give up more. I mean, you know how I feel about this team. I love the players. I love the direction that we're going. I'm not willing to risk it just for one star player.
Yeah. And Prince?
Me personally, I think it's like the same as the T-Mac trade or the Allen Iverson trade. He's gonna be good with the team, but at the same time, I feel like it's gonna ruin the core. It's gonna ruin the young core, and I feel like within everything, we need that personal development. And I would hate to give up big pieces for a Kevin Durant. Personally, I feel like Kevin Durant's great. He could be a great center for us, but at the same time, I don't see any success coming out of that.
No, that's definitely fair. I feel like the discussion I've seen online, I think a lot of Pistons fans definitely agree with you too. And I do as well. There is just one trade that I saw, which I was like, it kind of piqued my interest to the idea of it. But the first trade, I won't bring it up on screen. So let me know if you forget the names I say, but this is probably the most realistic. Like, if the Pistons want to get really into the conversation amongst like the Rockets, the Spurs, there's a couple other teams who have been reportedly interested. This is the type of trade I think they have to do to get in the conversation. That would be they would trade Tobias, they would trade Simone Fontecchio, Ron Holland. It would be Ron or Asar, but I think the one I've seen had Ron, and then it would be also 2 future firsts. So just quickly, my thoughts is a no. It's way too much. But I do think that's the most realistic thing if the Pistons want to get into the conversation. What's your thoughts on that? You can go first, Dave.
Look, yeah, definitely not. Obviously you know how I feel about Wrong. He's got a lot of hustle. He's just ruined the play, man. That's what I'm all about. Tobias, he definitely brought the chemistry when we needed it the most. That definitely helped boosted us to where we are now. And Simone Fontecchio, you know, he can be a good shooter off the bench. I'm just not willing to give that up, especially with the 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. No, definitely. Prince?
If it was Tobias and Simone, I would do that tomorrow. But Ron, I just don't know about Ron because Ron has so much potential within him that me and my dad
Yeah.
saw all year. And I feel like I just can't give up Ron for anybody right now. But Tobias and Simone can go tomorrow. Tobias, I want to see a blockbuster trade if I would put him in anything. I would love to keep him next year because of what Zave said, the chemistry. But at the same time, I feel like those two can go. Ron Holland, he has to stay. I feel like within everything, he can be the same as how that development with Asar Thompson was. We can develop him over the years and he can be a great role player towards our team.
I think that's fair. And I think Tobias as well, like Tobias just, he has to be included in all of these deals, mainly because of his contract and like the value it is. You need that for all these trades. I think that the one thing I want to say about Tobias is Malik Beasley, I think, gets a lot of the credit from the fan base for like him coming in and helping change the culture and be a leader. But I think Tobias was like almost low key right there with him. Just obviously Tobias is a bit more like low key in general than Malik. I think most people are. But like, so I do have a slight concern with like losing Tobias just in the locker room as well and bringing in KD. But no, I think I'm with you too. I think like losing Ron would be like losing, I don't know, break my heart as a fan. But I do think he's a name that would be a part of this. So that's just the reality of it. The other trade, and this was the one that I'm not even sure this is financially possible, but Kevin O'Connor threw it out. I did tweet it out the other day. And this was the one that piqued my interest. But basically, you would be giving up Tobias, Simone Fontecchio. You'd probably have to do 2 future firsts and maybe a pick swap. So, but you would also, in doing that, you would have to lose THJ and Schroeder in free agency, so that you wouldn't be able to bring them back at all. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that is a bit of a tough one, honestly. I guess if we're gonna involve any trades involving Dennis Schroeder, I guess it just has to be based on how we see Marcus Sasser. I mean, obviously, to me, he's more of a developed Ron Holland. Like, he's got the hustle, he's got the shot, he's got the playmaking abilities right then and there. Yeah, so it just all depends how the franchise sees him, if I'm being honest. Obviously, this is better than the Ron Holland trade, in my opinion, but it's definitely going to be a lot more risky considering the cap space as well.
Yeah. I think the reason it appealed to me before I go to you, Prince, was just you still keep like your young core, like, but you do lose those future picks, which would help you go to acquire another star. But I feel like keeping that young core, the defense they bring, and then what they got on offense, and just adding in KD, I was like, even though KD's 36, turning 37, like he's not your normal 36, 37-year-old. So I was just like thinking about those playoff games, and whilst the vets were awesome, don't get me wrong, I was like, man, those 3 home games were decided by like 6 points. And sometimes we just couldn't get buckets down the stretch. And I'm like, I don't know, KD, I'm sure wins us at least one of those games. And if we win 2, we win the series. So, but sorry, Prince, your thoughts on that deal?
I want to get rid of Sasser, but at the same time, I don't. I love Sasser. I love his game, and I love his development. But if it really comes down to the wire like that, then of course I would give up Sasser. But Shooter, I love Shooter, and I feel like that's the thing. Cause I was thinking about this today, and I was just like, if we could keep the same team, like we could really run it back. Because Cade would be in his 5th year, All-Star year, probably MVP year. Then it's like everybody can revolve around him, and like the core that we had this year was better than any other core that I've seen in the NBA. And I feel like if we could just run it back with the same players, it would be great. But of course, it's just how business is. So I would say Schroeder and Sasser, I do it, but at the same time, I do feel like Schroeder is a key part of our team, and I don't want to lose him.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans feel like that. I would not like to lose Dennis, but I'm also like I do think you could maybe find another point guard, as well as you have Jaden coming back. But yeah, Dennis, like, I'm not gonna lie, watching some playoff highlights this week, like in those 2 wins, he made some like massive shots. Like I actually kind of forgot how like kind of clutch he was, and just like on both ends. So no, I would like to see him back, but yeah, there was another Kevin Durant trade, but I think I know what your guys' answer would be on it, so I'll save that one for now. Maybe let's go to, so this week the Pistons announced that they're going to play Dallas in Mexico, and I wanted to first get your thoughts on that. I don't know if I don't know if either of you would even think about going to a game, but then it got me thinking, like, what's like a city or place you would like to see, or country? I know what your answer is going to be, Dave, but like, maybe just your initial thoughts on that. Like, do you care about them like playing internationally? Do you think it's good, or is it just like whatever?
I do think it is quite good, but I do think they need to play out of America as well. Like, I think that
Yeah.
Paris game was actually pretty good, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Prince?
Yeah, I do think we should run it back in Paris. I think that Paris game was great, but I feel like they usually give that Paris game to teams that aren't good. And I feel like that year we weren't good. So I feel like, especially when Killian Hayes dropped 2 points in his hometown, I was like, bro, what are you doing? So I
I
do want to
think,
run it back in
yeah.
Paris, but at the same time, I love Mexico City. I would love to see that happen, you know? And of course, we all want one in Australia. And I was kind of mad when I
Yes.
saw New Orleans get that Melbourne game, and I was like, but all in all, Mexico City, I can't wait to see that. And playing Dallas. Didn't we play Dallas and Mexico City last time we were in Mexico? Or am I?
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah.
right. It was in
hmm
2019. Because
Yeah, the
when,
Blake
so
Griffin. hmm
yeah, there's the Blake Griffin thing, and that's also Andre Drummond got avocado in his eye and realized he was allergic to it. And then I think he played the game. He still played, he actually weirdly played well, but that was like a whole other, there's some weird things going on in Mexico last time. But
Did not know
yeah,
that.
Me neither.
it
hmm
was, I forgot about it, but then when it was announced, I saw someone bring it up. I don't know where it was, but I just was like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's like there's this footage of him pre-game, like must have been game day in the morning, where he's got like some sunnies on, like doing an interview because his eyes all like swollen or whatever. But he ended up playing, so I don't know how bad it was. But yeah, no, I think it's cool to see. Like, I think it's for a team like the Pistons, who probably have like a smaller market team. I think it's awesome they like are willing to go like overseas. I know Mexico is not that far from the US, but yeah. I'm gonna try. We need to get them to Australia. I feel like
Absolutely.
we've got such a big fan base down here. I genuinely do. Like the amount of people that DM me being like, literally, like I've been doing this for like nearly 7 months or something, and I still get DMs of people being like, I literally thought I was the only Pistons fan in Australia. So I reckon I've got close to 100 of those. It's crazy. So yeah, like you said, Prince, I like you going into bat for us. Get the Pistons to Australia. But moving on, do you think like at this time of the year, this is just purely a question for fans about the fans. Do you think at this time of the year, like fans kind of forget, like with all these fake trades and stuff flying around, like it's easy for us to kind of forget how good this team was like last season in the playoffs? Like, does it annoy you seeing all the fake trades, or what are your guys' feelings on that just as fans?
I feel like with them, I always got to remember where we came from. And I think it was a couple months ago, my dad, he was like, you got to really take this in because I think he was my exact age when they won in 2004. So he was like, you got to take this in because 1 second they're good, the next second they're bottom of the league. And I was like, yeah. And I felt like the Pistons have not been good my whole life. Well, I feel like that 2019 team, they were all right, but other than that, sometimes I gotta take in consideration how far we came, especially when it came to that playoff loss. I feel like once I got on the stream after that, I was all positivity because you gotta think like, where did we come from? Like we really went from the bottom to the top, and that's what we need to have that same mentality for next year to think where we came from and how far we can go. It's like it's so it makes me so mad how the Pacers are in the finals right now when that really could have been us. It was just like, and I still think we would have beat the Pacers in the first round. But go ahead.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, those fake trades do kind of annoy me. Like, who's even making that up? That's what I'm wondering. Like, where's this coming from, man? It's like, are you going to talk about us now? Just now? Like, why didn't you talk about us before, man? This is the future.
No, I've probably been a little bit guilty. At this time of the year, there's just like nothing happening for like, unless your team's in the finals, like it's normally pretty quiet. Like I feel like in the next, once the finals are done, like all these moves will start happening and like things will start happening. But this time of the year is like, apart from like August and September, where it's the real dead months, like this is like the time of the year where there's really not much happening with your team. So I think people get like bored and start making fake trades. So I mean, I've certainly been guilty of it in the past. I just did a Kevin Durant video. But Look, guys, I think I'm going to jump to Maddie and Devin. But any other thoughts, any other takes you'd like to get off? This is your chance.
Nah, just excited for the future.
That's right. We love it. Prince?
Can't wait to see the new Summer League jerseys. Hopefully they switch up the colorway. And I really hope I get to see a very good Prince.
I thought it was just my headphones before, but there was like this, your voice sounded distorted for a second.
Yeah, I thought it was I didn't know if it was me or not, but I think definitely can't wait to see the new jerseys next year, the Pepsi Max jerseys. Can't wait to see those. I like the colorway. I love the colorway. And hopefully we get a new statement jersey. And I would like to see a red statement jersey next year. I can't wait to see the Summer League jerseys. And other than that, yeah, together all the time together.
Well, Prince, before I let you go, your mum's in the chat. Appreciate you. This there was some I really appreciate the donation. Thank you. But it's always Grizz Nation, but second best will always be Detroit basketball. I love the dig. There's someone else in here who said something about Jalen Thomas. Is this a friend? Prince, I'm a huge fan.
Oh, that's my cousin. That's my cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
Let's
He's
go.
a lawyer.
Oh, it's a lawyer. I hope he's not trying to sue me.
I got your back, Jack. I'm actually studying law at the moment as well. So.
Are you really? Oh, good.
Yeah.
I got my lawyer here. That's amazing. Let's go. You're way smarter than me. I dropped out of university.
It's just grit, man. It's just grit. It's just that
I love
Detroit
it.
basketball grit I got going on.
Gotta lock
Bring
in.
that to the law school. I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. Always fun.
Thanks for having us, man.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too,
All
Jack.
right, guys. We'll chat soon. Appreciate you. All right. Let's bring up my friends from the D, from Detroit. We got Maddie and we got Devin. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
What up, though? What up, though, Jack? What up, though, Devin?
What up?
Let's go. I just saw this one from Maddie, the fake AI trades on social media.
Man, there's so many of them now, I swear. And you can always tell when they're the AI trades.
I love it. I just want to shout out. We've got Pistons Turkey here. What's going on, Camille? Appreciate you joining. Yeah. He's a legend. But yeah, we had Ryan here from Melbourne. So what is going on? I'm gonna jump straight into it. Any final thoughts first? I know it's not Pistons related, but any thoughts on that, how the Pacers have looked and that kind of thing? You guys been watching?
Yeah, at this point, I'm done fighting it. I think the Pacers are winning it all.
Same.
It took me a long time to finally root for them. I'm not even gonna lie, but at this point, I'm like, I don't know. I think they might take it.
Same.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go, Devin. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you're good. Yeah. I say honestly, Pacers in 6. I would say.
Yup, this is exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
I know. They're pretty incredible. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think everyone watching this and us three, like, we all love the NBA. So there's been plenty of talks about like ratings and that, but like, man, I'm not gonna lie, it's been fun watching the Pacers do what they're gonna do. Like it's because they're a pretty, like, I'm not gonna compare them to like the 04 Pistons, but they don't have, like, Tyrese Halliburton is probably a superstar now, but like he's still not like your typical superstar. Like, it's been pretty cool to see them just with the way their team's built. Like, I think their highest pick is Ben Mathurin, who was pick 6. He's the highest pick on the roster. Like, the way they've built their team, is it kind of similar to the 04 Pistons? Like, they didn't have any high draft picks. A lot of those guys were traded.
No, a lot of the 04 guys were like just savvy trades and free agent picks up. Like, we didn't really draft a whole lot of guys.
Yeah, that's what. And like, obviously, Sheed was like the final piece when they traded for him.
Right.
So there's like different teams, but like kind of similarities in the way they're like built and maybe how the talent level's perceived. So Tom's sleeping on Darko.
Oh man, Darko.
Can we maybe it's the off season, so we can talk about this. Were you guys like locked into Pistons basketball in that draft? Like, do you remember like having any thoughts about it at the time?
I actually do. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Detroit was hype when we got Darko. It took years for us to get mad about him. Like, I'm not even kidding, because we were just so good. But after a few years, we were like, all right, man, what is this guy? Like, we just kind of gave up on him. But we were hype when we first drafted him. It was like a positive buzz around the city, I remember.
It's crazy.
Right.
Oh, man. Oh, I can see Austin's joining us. It looks like he's at work or something, so I'm gonna bring him up quickly. Austin, what's going on, bro?
Oh,
Are you
what's up,
working?
guys? I'm at work. I just wanted to stop in, man. I'm missing Pistons basketball dearly. I'm missing it. But I'm also missing talking Pistons basketball. So I'll be on next week. It's just work's got me going crazy. So just wanted to stop in and say what's up.
Can you tell people where you work? Because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I work for the Detroit Tigers, actually. I was supposed to meet you for first pitch, but I had another engagement I had to go to. So sadly, I didn't get to do that.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. But no, man, I'm excited. This next season, I think I sent you a message the other day. Like, I was watching Cade highlights from the playoffs, dude. Like, dude's too good. This is gonna be a fun year. But I gotta go. I just wanted to stop in and say what's up. I'll be on next Friday though. I don't have to work, so I'll be there.
You legend. Excited to have you on, bro. Enjoy the rest of your work.
Appreciate Devin and Matt for letting me take up some time too.
Always.
All right, see y'all.
Appreciate you, bro. Catch ya. How good's that? Just a quick drop in from Austin. But yeah, Devin, did you have any thoughts on Darko?
At the time, not really. I mean, I do agree with Matt. I was very excited. So I do remember this whole city just being very excited for it, but no, like, per se, like, thoughts on my own though. I was just excited that we got someone.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, though, they hyped him up. Like,
they did.
Yeah. He was drafted number 2, and like, no one just goes number 2. Like, he was probably going to be a top 5 pick no matter what.
Yeah.
But like, the city they really hyped him up like he was the next Dirk or something like that. So, years later, we really felt that trade, because it's like, why did we not get Carmelo? We could have probably get at least another ring or two.
Man.
Like, that hurt years later.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, it's kind of reminds me of, like, you know how the Warriors got that pick too, and they could have taken, Halliburton, LaMelo, and they took James Wiseman. It was like another one of those where they ended up winning a ring, but like after it. But it's just like, imagine the Pistons got Melo. I've seen some people say like, oh, they wouldn't have won more, like Melo didn't fit. But
no,
like,
that's BS.
Dude,
we would have.
That's
for
BS.
Sure. They would have pushed him to be a way better defensive player and all that. Like, he would have worked.
He would have been on a rookie contract as well. You wouldn't have even like had to break up the team for any time soon.
Exactly.
Because he would have been on a rookie contract for 3 or 4 years. Like, so because that's what's going to be. Yeah. Well, he would have fit perfectly because he probably takes Tayshaun's spot.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Tayshaun probably would have moved to the bench, and then Carmelo would have started or whatever. And I know the team wanted them to draft Carmelo too. Like, they thought they were going to get him for sure.
Yeah, man, that would have been. And you just have to think, like, Edward here makes a good point. Imagine Melo, how his career might go playing under those vets, like a team coming into a winning situation. Maybe his career, like, obviously he would probably win a ring or two.
Oh yeah,
that would have been so cool. But anyway, that's enough revisionist history. It is draft related though, so it's definitely relevant.
And honestly, that Darko pick is gonna always haunt like the Pistons fans who've seen it. Like, man, that was a bad pick.
But that's probably gonna be at the top no matter what. I was trying to think of other draft busts we've had. There's obviously Killian, but he was pick 7. Like, I feel like obviously pick 7 you can still get a good player, but I feel like once you get outside, if you have a top 4 pick, in my opinion, you can't screw it up. But it still hurts when it's pick 7, 8, 9, but it's more likely. But yeah, Darko will always probably be number 1.
Right.
I'm glad we can say with all these top 5 picks we've had recently that there is no Darko vibes at all with any of them.
Thank God.
Literally.
But Moving on, you heard me say a couple of those Kevin Durant trades. Maybe just both of your thoughts on Kevin Durant to Detroit. And then was there any trades you've liked or just your thoughts?
Honestly, I think KD would be a good fit. It's just I don't want to have to give up what we would have to give up to get him. Like I do think he would be able to, step in and probably contribute from day one. And I wouldn't even kind of compare it to the T-Mac or the Iverson because T-Mac, he really didn't, he was already falling off, and Iverson just kind of lost it. Where Durant, he can still contribute at a high level, I think. So if he came in, I think he would fit. But like I said, I just don't want to have to give up the trade package to get him.
Yeah.
I would say same. I would love Kevin Durant on Detroit. I think that he would fit in really well. I feel like he would bring a lot of that leadership to us. I wouldn't sell the house for him though, just because of his age. I think in a world, if we could keep our big three, so Cade, Durant, and Ivy, and also keep Beasley, I don't want to say anybody else I wouldn't care about, but the first trade, Jack, in your video that I watched this morning, the first trade I kind of like actually, just because I feel like personally, I know it's probably unpopular, but I think that one's not the worst trade, just because we're keeping still our core, really, and everyone, and we would get at least a couple years of Kevin Durant, and definitely go further than we did last year. I feel.
That's the thing that's so tempting about this is I've been the whole time before the playoffs or after the Pistons were eliminated, I was like, nah, I don't want to do anything short-sighted. But just seeing what the East could look like next year, plus how you could get Kevin Durant for what I would consider a pretty cheap, give it. It's if they added him, I say this as unbiased as possible. The Eastern Conference Finals should be the baseline with how, but obviously things can change. Maybe the Knicks make another huge trade, but just how the East kind of looks now, it's why? If you add KD and you have him for 2 to 3 years, that's still a big window. I think sometimes I'm guilty of it for sure. I think sometimes it feels like you're just going to have this 5-6 year window, which is what you should want. But sometimes it only is a couple of years, and maybe people will be well, if you do it now, you're going too early. They're too young. But I could also say back to that, well, yeah, you might have this window, but then you might get another chance with another one with your young core because they're so young. So anyway, it's I honestly don't think it's going to happen at all. I think other teams have better packages. And like you said, Matty, I think what it would take to get him, I'm not comfortable moving all those pieces, but I think I think the thing I disagree with the most is I see some people saying KD's a franchise ruiner. He couldn't win with Booker, so what's he going to do in Detroit? Well, my thing would be Detroit's a very different situation to where he's been. We have a young team who I don't think there's many egos at all. No. I think they would all respect KD. He would enjoy being with them. I think we have a really good defensive identity that he could come into, and he would just come in and be a bucket getter. He'd be the leading scorer alongside Cade. Those two would be incredible. So I push back on the idea of him coming here and destroying the culture. I think what JB's built, I don't think that would happen at all. I think the biggest risk is just he would come here and get an injury and miss 50 games. But the last 2 years,
that's one thing I would be afraid of is, because he is up there in age, so you never know.
Exactly. And that's very valid. But I will say in the past 2 seasons, I think some people think he's played 40 games. He played 64 last year and 72 the year before. He's giving you 27 points. He's I go look at his stats. I'm holy shit, this guy.
That's he's a walking bucket, even at this
and he's a
career. It's unreal.
And his sleep.
And he doesn't literally and he's a tough shot, mate. It's just even at 36, 37, I feel he's got 2 to 3 more years where if he doesn't get any foot injuries or any of those bad things, he's going to give you 60 to 65 games on 40% shooting from 3. He's an incredible player, but it's just good conversation. I think even if it's a 0.5% chance of him coming to Detroit, I think it's worth talking about. because there is a tiny possibility. But I did have what are your thoughts? I don't necessarily have a trade, but do you guys have any thoughts on Lauri Markkanen? There's been no reporting about the Pistons being interested, but I think to get him, if I'm being honest, you're going to have to give up potentially 2 of like Ivy, Ron, Asar, JD, maybe, plus Tobias, plus probably a couple of picks. He's 28. He's on a 4-year deal. So I think the Jazz with Danny Ainge are going to want a lot for him. So any thoughts on that?
I feel like he would be a decent fit. It's just I really don't like his injury history. And like you said, the trade package to get him, I just don't think it would be worth it.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I think he would fit well, and we definitely could use him, but I'm definitely not trading Ivy. I'm definitely also not selling the house for him. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I'm just not sure. I think it might have been, I was listening to the Pistons Pulse yesterday, dropped an episode, and I think Amari was saying he just doesn't, and I kind of agreed. I don't think Markkanen's I think what the Pistons would have to trade to get him is what you might be trading to get a true number 2 option. And I don't think he's shown that could be that on like an actual top 2, top 3 team in your conference. Maybe I'm shortchanging him, but yeah. I also don't want to sound like those fans that don't like any trades, but I think all our points are pretty valid.
Right.
Definitely.
I like this one from Brandon. And Brandon, I saw your question about the draft before. I'm going to bring that one up towards the end. But Brandon says, I think if you want to make a splash trade, a first and some seconds for Cam Johnson fits the role and timeline better. So Cam Johnson on the Nets, he would fit at the 4 nicely, or the 3.
Yeah, that would be solid, honestly.
I agree. That would be nice.
I know we kind of been linked to him the past few years too, and kind of minor talks here and there. So I think he would definitely fit. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. No, that's probably more like the more realistic outcome, like the type of players we're looking at.
Right. That's the type of trade I could see like going down. There's one like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's gonna be interesting. My gut feel is like nothing happens. I feel like we're only gonna probably bring back 2 of the 3 vets.
Right.
I don't know why. I feel like maybe Trajan might look to upgrade one of those, whether it's THJ or Schroeder. But is that like, where are you guys sitting in terms of what you feel like might happen?
I kind of feel like in his season-ending post press conference, he kind of preached patience, and I kind of think that's the route he'll go. Is like, give this young core 1 more year, bring back the key veterans, probably make a trade, a minor trade to make the roster a little bit better. But I think he'll really be patient, just kind of let the young core have at least 1 more year.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't want to lose really anybody. I don't see us doing a huge trade either, to be honest. I think if I had to bring
Looks
back
like we lost Devin.
Oh, hello?
I've got you. I can hear Devin.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay. I would definitely bring back Beasley and Schroeder. I loved Tim Hardaway, but I just feel like for best fit, and if maybe we could upgrade him a little bit, that's my thoughts on like the 3 vets at least.
Yeah. As you can see, Maddie's got the thumbs up on his. Did you see that little thumbs up bubble?
Yeah.
No, I agree with both of you. I think it's probably going to be less happening, but we'll see. Also,
you never know.
You never know. You literally never know. Maybe Trajan just changes his mind, but I think based on what he said, it seems like it'll be a bit more quieter for the Pistons. But moving on, do you guys have any thoughts on the draft? We can skip this if you haven't really looked into it, and I can do it by myself after. But do you have any? Is there any players you've seen in the second round, or anything just from what people have been talking about that interest you, or any genuine draft thoughts? General.
I've kind of looked a little bit. I'd say maybe I don't know. I wonder if we'll kind of trade that pick or if we'll keep it or how we'll end up going.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Right.
I think I've heard some draft people say the draft because of the what's it called where the NCAA players get paid? What is it actually?
The
term
NIL,
for that?
yeah.
The NIL, because of that, a lot of players have gone back and that they've said like the talent really drops off from like that
Right, that's what I've
34
heard
range
too, yeah.
onwards. I'm like, God, that's literally right where we are. So it'll be interesting. Devin, have you had a chance to have a look at any prospects or any thoughts on the Pistons draft? Uh-oh, maybe we have lost Devin. You're all right, Matty. He's dropped out. I'll see if he joins back and I'll bring him back up. But I was going to wrap it up there. But do you have any other thoughts, Matty, before I let you go?
Not really. Just excited for draft night. To see what we do. Really, I know we've kind of been linked to Janai Broom. I know he didn't have the greatest combine or whatever, but I still think he could be a solid option at that pick.
Yeah. No, definitely. So I think that's a great call from you. And I know he's worked out with the Pistons. I think
right.
I think did he have a really good tournament? I think he can like shoot a little bit. I think he just doesn't have much athleticism at all. But like at pick 37, you're not going to get the perfect player. So
right.
He could definitely be interesting. Looks like, like I say, he can shoot it. He can play backup 5, a little bit of backup 4. So
right, that's what I like. Is he can play the 4 or the 5. So
yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. I think you're right though. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade up, maybe. Not
right.
like nothing crazy, but it feels like the draft really drops off or just around where we are. At least that's what draft experts are kind of saying. So it's going to be interesting because we also, I think, like we have Bobby Clintman as well, who I think the long-term vision for him would be like the backup 4. And a lot of the players I've seen linked to the Pistons kind of in that range are like backup 4 or 5. So if you take one of them, what's that mean for Bobby and his development? But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Definitely. But I know whoever we draft, we're going to embrace. So
that's right.
See how it works
100%. we'll get way too excited about them.
Right, for sure.
Second round pick. It looks like I fully lost Devin, so I'm gonna let you go, Matty. But thank you so much for jumping on, man. Appreciate your support as always.
Yep, no problem, Jack. Go Pistons.
All right, bro. We'll chat soon.
Yep, later.
All right, I'm just gonna go through the chat here, guys. Devin, sorry guys, got a work call. What time? It must be like 9 o'clock for you. So that's a late work call, but appreciate you, Devin. I had a couple of comments here to go to before we wrap up. This one from Brandon. Jack, have you done any scouting on Theoro? That guy is the truth. I feel crazy for falling for these hyper athletes that can't shoot, but that guy is the best. OG Ananobi. I've only looked at a few players. I recorded my episode with Keandre from Hoop Intellect this week, and he spoke about some names. I haven't looked at Theoro though. I think is he the center who played in Europe though potentially. I think I saw him mocked around like the end of the first round, but I haven't yet. It's interesting. I think maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but I'll have a look at him, Brandon. But I think for me, based like on who's projected to be available at 37. I think I'm kind of like wouldn't mind taking Alex Tui. Feels like he can be a 3 or 4. He's an Australian. He's like 6'9". He's pretty solid, decent athlete, can shoot a little bit. I think he'd be a pretty safe pick. But then it's like at pick 37, are you looking for more like a high upside guy, like you're saying here with Hero, or more of a project player that, like I said, could have high upside. So he's a wing from Arkansas. I think I know who this is. But yeah, that Tui would be my guy. I'm also kind of interested in another Australian, Tyrese Proctor. I know we've got Sasser at the guard position, but Proctor could be someone else interesting at 37. And I don't mind Jano Broom either. I'm just not sure. Whilst he's a backup 5, his lack of athleticism, and he's only like 6'9", 6'10", I believe. Maybe he just doesn't have. I'm not like, whilst he's skilled, I'm not sure how that fits on the roster. But yeah, I'm definitely with you though, Brendan, about getting excited, falling in love with all these second round picks. It's I know I always just look at like the highest possible upside outcome for them, when really with second round picks, it's normally crazy if they even sign that next deal. But yeah, appreciate your comments. That's going to do it for today's show, I think, guys. I'm going to go watch some NBA finals. Weirdly, I think I'm rooting for the Pacers. So, because at the end of the day, the Pacers win, that strengthens our argument for the Pistons and how good they're going to look next season. So, but yeah, appreciate everyone in the chat. Devon, Tom, Edward, Brandon, everyone that joined today, Prince, Save, Maddie. We even had Austin, Devon, all good conversation. And like always, we'll be back with these subscriber-only streams all off season, every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want more information about joining the Pistons Jack subscription over on Instagram, shoot me a DM. There's a link, I believe, in the description. So check that out. And yeah, we'll be back next week. As always, go Pistons.